Brent.
Brent.
Okay, what is your assessment of the possibility of this being an Indian mound, an Indian burial place?
Okay, this property belongs to Scoop Bryan, and
Brant.
he's been here. Scoop Brant. He's been here for many, many years.
75 years.
75.
No, how old is he? 65.
65 years. The area behind us was clear cut for a natural gas pipeline, so we can't judge anything on the lay of the ground and the slope of the ground because that was cut away. But from the size of the trees that are around us, we know this area wasn't touched. Now, one way to tell an Indian mound, you've got to have an even gradient all the way around. And as you look around, you can see that all the way on both sides of this ridge, the gradient is even. So this is probably, in all probability, this is man-made. It's kind of a cop-out. We, from about 400 to 600 AD, we can place tribes in different locations. But this would have to probably be classified as a woodland Indian group, and that's a cop-out because we don't know that much about them. But we know that there are Indian mounds north of us and south of us. And we know that the woodland group of Indians were associated with the Cahokians that were around the St. Louis area, and they were all mound builders. So given the fact that we're in the area where mounds are known to exist, there is no reason to believe that this couldn't have been an Indian mound that was built by virtue of the fact of the even gradient that exists on all sides of the mound. How would we know that for sure? We could bring in the ground penetrating radar unit, but that's only good to about 8 to 12 feet at the most. That we might find artifacts. Were there burials here? Again, we wouldn't know until we got a ground penetrating radar on the area. That is something that we'll have to discuss at a later meeting of the Pioneer History Research Group. But the indications are yes, this has definite possibilities of being mound from the woodland group of Indians associated with the Cahokians who were known mound builders. So there's no reason to believe that this couldn't be. Whether it is or not would have to prove by other means. But from the observations, it could very well be an Indian mound.
Thank you, Bob. What do you think, Miller Brothers?
Well, by the age of these trees, this is definitely several centuries old, so it looks like a pretty high possibility to me.
Have you seen Indian mounds down in the Silver City area or anywhere?
No, most of them's on the bluffs overlooking the Missouri River, but there's probably 3 to 4 dozen mound groups actually in the Glenwood area, at least.
Yes, y'all did a lot of research for that.
Yeah, very common. And so if they were there and there's Indian mounds north of us, there's no reason to believe why this couldn't be. That doesn't disprove it, but again, it doesn't prove it. Would have to have further research into it, but it does have possibilities. I'd like to get some dowsing rods up here and see if we get any hits for sure before we commit the ground penetrating radar because of its cost.
Right.
But this certainly deserves further investigation.
Okay, you all went this direction because you thought that too might be a mound.
Yeah,
Was
like
that?
I looked like there might be another mound up here because it has a gentle gradient that comes all the way down. But once you get up there, the gradient on the other side is much sharper, so that's definitely not a mound. This could either be in a circle shape or it could be slightly oblong, which would be consistent with the Cahokians in that they built snake mounds or serpent mounds in addition to the round mounds.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, we should probably do a survey, get a transit up here, draw out some lines, and then you could put it on paper and see what it actually looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Under all the vegetation.
I wonder if you could get that with quadrangle maps. I've got the quadrangle maps for Park County.
Well, you probably need a larger scale than that. You can probably see this on the slightly.
It would be interesting to look at it. If it is a mound indeed, it would be simply a series of concentric circles where the elevation was the same going all the way around the mound. Then they'd go up 20 feet. The next bar would be drawn. Contour map. Yeah. The next contour line. They should be in regular intervals and should be whatever. If it's not round, they should follow the shape, whatever the shape of the mound is. and it could be oval, it could be round, or it could be a serpent mound.
But each one of those circles would be approximately the same distance
Distance
away from
apart.
each other.
It's not a constant gradient.
Thank you. It looks like we have some more work to do up here. Thank you.